Hello and welcome to the second video. Hopefully you've now become comfortable with the 5 different components. And in this video, I'd like to focus on emotions. Before you can start managing emotions, you'll need to learn how to identify them. This may sound really easy, but it can be quite tricky. This is because, say you have an emotion and it's one you really can't deal with very well. A coping mechanism is to very quickly translate that into a different emotion. So say you feel hurt, and you really don't do hurt very well. You could translate that immediately into anger. Social acceptance also comes into this. You may be a man from a culture or a family where real men don't cry. So what you might do is laugh it off when you feel like crying. It might become a joke. For some people, they may not have the vocabulary to express themselves and to know what it is that they're feeling. For example, some adolescents who feel anxiety may just feel that they can't concentrate very well. They may feel irritable. Some people don't even like talking about emotions and do not want to dwell there for a second. And I have clients, when I ask them how they're feeling, and they say, good, bad, tired. Now these are not emotions. They are one-word answers, which are good, but they're not actually emotions. If you find it difficult to work out what emotion you're feeling, start with the sentence, which could be something like, I'm going mad, and ask yourself, well, what does this mean to me? It could be, I can't cope. And ask yourself, what does I can't cope mean? Perhaps that'll go down to something like, I feel vulnerable, or childlike. So you can really start exploring your feelings there. It is a difficult exercise, and it's worth noting that people who are on antidepressants, they may feel quite numb anyway. That's what the antidepressant does. So this task may prove particularly difficult for them, but with practice it can be done. You may find that some emotions are more difficult to identify for you than others. And don't assume that these are going to be such that the good, positive emotions are easy and the negative ones are going to be difficult. It could be different with the other way around. So for example, I've known people that the minute they feel happy, within that microsecond, they then go to a place of, I don't deserve to feel happiness. And then they go to a place of guilt. So they may think they feel guilty when actually the very first emotion had been that they had felt happy. Again, this is something that you may want to speak to your therapist about. It's this interconnection between thought and mood which makes it so difficult to distinguish between the two. For example, do you not want to socialise because you're feeling down? Or do you not want to socialise because you're frightened if you go out into a social situation, you won't perform very well, people will think badly of you, and it's that thought that makes you feel down. So what is coming first, the thought or the emotion? To recap, the emotion is a one-word precise answer. If it is more, then it is probably a thought, and you'll need to tease out what is the feeling and what is the thought. If you can't put it into words and you get an image, well, think about how does that image make me feel? And that is the emotion. So when you're thinking about emotions, think about where you are, what you were doing, who were you with, and when it was. And take that as a starting point. Once you have distinguished between the thought and the mood and the environment, then you can start to see where you need to make changes. Spend some time over the next 2 weeks practicing separating out the moods and the thoughts. Try doing it maybe 3 times a day, or whenever you brush your teeth, whenever you get into the car, whatever's convenient for you, whatever's going to remind you that this needs to be done. Now, the second part of the task for this video is once you become comfortable having incorporated that into your routine for the day, and you're comfortable making these distinctions, also start to rate your mood. That's expressing it on a scale from 0 to 100. So 0 would be, I don't feel it at all, and 100 is, I feel it very intensely, it's the most. Just be aware here that emotions are there as a signal to us, to alert us. It's a way we communicate inside our own bodies. It's something that flags up something important is going on. So if you do get a rating of 100, it means that something that you need to pay attention to is going on. If it's not obviously apparent to you what that is, do take this to your therapist and discuss it with them.